from the 2019 World Scout Jamboree, this is New World Live. This is a live look at Goodrich Lake. Today is Thursday, August 1st. Good morning, I'm Michelle Merritt from the United States.
And I'm Sinja Bille from Denmark. Welcome to the last morning edition of New World Live.
On today's show, we'll have a live look at the weather with Jamboree meteorologist Kyle Kipple. We will bring you a live interview with Boy Scouts of America Chief Scout Executive Mike Serbaugh and Scouts Canada Executive Commissioner Andrew Price. We have a story about the coral in southern United States waters near Florida and what Scouts are doing to save this important resource.
We'll go to the Netherlands Food House to take a look and a taste and look how Scouts are putting up with the Scout lore into practice.
Will the weather hold out for the final day of activities here at the Jamboree and for tonight's closing show? Our Jamboree meteorologist Kyle Kipple is here with the latest forecast.
Good morning, and once again we are watching for the chance of showers and thunderstorms to develop in and around the Summit Bechtel Reserve this afternoon. Good morning, I'm meteorologist Kyle Kipple. You'll notice temperatures across West Virginia, a good 78 degrees Fahrenheit in southern West Virginia, 75 in Witcherwood, and 85 degrees in Charleston. But we do have a 60% chance of rain, which hopefully will keep those temperatures down just a little bit as we go through the rest of the afternoon. 26 degrees Celsius here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. As we head into the overnight hours, we'll have some cloud cover sticking around with us once again. Temperatures falling to around 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius, with plenty of developing cloud cover across the area, which may help some fog develop in the early morning hours. Future satellite and radar for your Thursday showing a couple sporadic showers developing before the lunchtime hour. But as we head into the afternoon, those showers increase in intensity and in coverage across the region. And heading into the 5 to 6 o'clock hour, some of those showers may turn into thunderstorms and produce heavy downpours across parts of camp. As we head through the late night hours, 9, 10 o'clock, most of the rain will have dissipated by then. Your Thursday, hour by hour, 10 a.m., scattered chance of a morning rain shower, about 30% chance. As 3 p.m. rolls around, so do those thunderstorms developing from around 3 to 6 p.m. this afternoon and this evening, 60% chance. As we head into the late evening hours, we still do have a chance of a shower lingering around, sticking around our area, but they should be dissipating as we head into the evening hours. Enjoy one of your last nights here at the World Scout Jamboree. Your 3-day outlook, 80 degrees on Thursday and on Friday. Temperatures through the overnight, 65 degrees. As we take a look at these temperatures in Celsius, 27 degrees on Thursday, 28 degrees on Friday. Again, still with a chance of storms. There's that cold front that pushed through, turning into a stationary front. That means we're going to have some lingering rain over the eastern parts of the United States, but most of that rain will be focused south of the World Scout Jamboree. It shouldn't cause many issues on your way home back to your home countries. Look, the next 6 days, you'll notice temperatures 80 degrees through Friday and Saturday. Then we warm up just a little bit Sunday and Monday up to 83 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius. And most of the rain chances stick around through Saturday. But as we look ahead toward next week, a little bit of a drier pattern, only 20% chance, 30, and then 20% chance next Tuesday for those of us staying here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve. Now I'm going to show you a little bit about climate. This is coming from the Climate Prediction Center, and they give us precipitation trends, what they think the rain will be like in about 8 to 14 days, just a general overlook. And over the next 8 to 14 days, you'll notice above average rainfall conditions in the interior west portions of the United States, so Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and parts of New Mexico and Arizona. And then on the flip side, you'll notice below average rain conditions pretty much all throughout Texas and much of the deep south. That will stick around again through the next 8 to 14 days. It's just a guess of what the climate will be doing. And temperature-wise, just a little peak of below average temperatures near Minnesota, Wisconsin, and North Dakota. But for the majority of the United States, you'll notice above average conditions, especially here in the deep south near Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, as well as extending into the deep south and Florida up the eastern seaboard. Just to our east here in West Virginia are those temperature trends. That brings us into today's trivia question. Weather is the state of the atmosphere at a single place and time. What is climate? Is it A, all the weather conditions ever? Is it B, an average of weather over a period of time? Or is it C, a long-range weather forecast? Go ahead and drop your guesses in the comments below, and we'll come back later in the broadcast with the right answer.
Thank you, Kyle.
Throughout the Jamboree, we've been covering the popular food houses in the Global Development Village. This morning, we paid a visit to the Netherlands Food House to check it out. Let's have a look.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm from the Dutch food house called the Holland Hub. And welcome to our fine Dutch food house where we serve real Dutch delicacies. So we got poffertjes, stroopwafels, we got toasty, that's like grilled cheese and ham. We got delicious stroopwafels. I already mentioned them, but I'm going to mention them again because we really like our stroopwafels. If you are nearby, come see us and have some stroopwafels because they're really, really nice.
This is my first time at the Netherlands tent. I've heard a lot about the waffles. They sound very delicious. I've tried almost every other food house, and I'm very excited to try this one.
This is a stroopwafel, and it's sort of like a soft wafer. You can get a cup of coffee, and you set it on top of the rim of the coffee cup, and the heat from the coffee warms it and softens it so that the caramel inside is all hot and melty. It's delicious.
Mike Serba is the Chief Scout Executive of the Boy Scouts of America, and Andrew Price is the Executive Commissioner of Scouts Canada. They join me now on New World Live. Welcome, Mike and Terry.
Hey, Michelle. How you doing?
Good. So we've seen Scouts come together from around the world at the summit to celebrate scouting together in unison. What can the world learn from this jamboree?
Well, I think, when I've looked at those young people getting together from almost every country on our planet, it's just been tremendous to watch them collaborate and work together on things that, ultimately don't happen anywhere else. And when I think about big problems that this world needs to solve, I think this is a great place to start.
I think everybody here has seen what Andrew and I saw when we were kids. First event I went that had international flavor was an International Brotherhood Camporee with our friends from Canada in 1974, and a scout gave me this Scouts Canada beret. And I've carried it all these years because he made me promise that I would come to World Jamboree, and this is my first one. So I'm going to present this back to Mr. Price so that hopefully this can be installed back to Canada. So I'm returning this to its home. So Andrew, thanks for a friendship from Canada from so many years ago. It's awesome.
Now, would you guys tell us about how the Boy Scouts of America and Scouts Canada collaborate outside the Jamboree?
Yeah, I think that we have a really great partnership, and as Mike kind of alluded to, it goes right down to the local level where our units get together and have an opportunity to camp and learn from one another, and then, working up, of course, to the Jamboree level where we work really well together to put on what has been a tremendous experience for 45,000 scouts from so many countries.
One of the things I think that we have found is that with Scouts Canada and Scouts Mexico and the BSA all working together, you see something that was very transformational for the Jamboree. In the past, there's been all that cultural exchange, which is awesome, but this Jamboree's been a little bit different because we had so many volunteers that have put on the program events. So you have, kids from all over getting a chance to meet others, but then go do mountain biking, but then you still have that cultural exchange. So it's been very different Jamboree and a great one.
So outside of the Jamboree, what opportunities are there for Scouts to make connections with Scouts from other countries?
Oh, we got a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, outside of the Jamboree, I think what's really great with the technology we've seen at this Jamboree is an opportunity to virtually connect and share information so young scouts from around the world can continue to dialogue. But there's events and jamborees and camps that happen in every single country where there's scouting, and just encourage scouts to get out and continue to take in those experiences and learn from one another.
Yeah, there's some regional events, and next year there's a really exciting event that I'll give a plug for, Eurojam 2020. Friends from Scouts Poland are doing a big party. 20,000 people are expected in Gdansk, Poland. So that sounds like a great time. I want to go to Gdansk. You want to go to Gdansk?
Absolutely.
Do you want to go to Poland?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to Poland. You guys need to come to Poland too.
Great. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share with us today?
We want to talk a little bit about sustainability if we got a couple of minutes. We had a little project that was going on. Did we show a video? Or
I think we're about to. So thank you, Andrew, for coming on the show, and we'll have you talk a little bit about sustainability in a minute. I know this is something you are obviously very passionate about. So we're going to take a look at a piece about the BSA Sea Base. It's a unique scouting program that offers aquatic programs found nowhere else in the United States. The Florida Sea Base exhibit here at the Jamboree showcases a project to save the coral reefs. We met Matt Reineck, who is a director at Sea Base.
My name is Matt Reineck. I am the Director of Logistics at the Sea Base, and we operate out of the Florida Keys, 2 locations there, 1 in the Bahamas and 2 in the U.S. Virgin Islands. We are right now outside the Outdoor Adventures booth here at the Scott Visitor Center. So down at Sea Base, we are partnered with a National Marine Laboratory, and they are one of the pioneers that have discovered how to grow and plant coral. Will grow at an exponentially faster rate than what happens naturally in the wild. And that's through a process called fragmentation. What they found is that if you take a large dinner plate sized piece of coral that takes approximately 80 years to grow and break it into small pieces about the size of your pinky nail, that piece, because it has been cut, thinks it should be the size of a dinner plate, so it will grow exponentially faster to catch up with where it thinks it should be. So from this, you're going to get to something like this, which is somewhere between a quarter and a $1/2, and that takes about 4 months. So if you take a number of these quarter to $1/2 size pieces of coral and plant them in 6 to 8 inch increments, we can grow a 100-year-old coral head in a fraction of the time, which is really exciting. Many of our coral reefs are dying because the water temperature is rising, as well as the acid levels in our oceans are impacting this very sensitive creature. It's been incredibly exciting to see the interest, especially about a program like this that will have a dramatic impact on the Earth and on the sustainability of our planet, because things like coral reefs actually help to regulate nitrogen levels, carbon dioxide levels in the ocean. And so every little thing that we can do to help protect our Earth and educate our scouts to continue to do that for generations to come is incredibly important.
So now, after the piece that we just saw, could you tell us a little bit about how the work that Florida Sea Base is doing ties into the overall sustainable goals of scouting?
Well, I think it's such a nice match for what's happening at this Jamboree, Michelle, because you just see all these young people excited about saving the environment and doing something that truly makes an impact. This project that we've been working on at the Florida Sea Base, it is transformational for coral in the Florida Keys, but also we think around the world. We've been partnering, as you heard in the video, with Mote Marine. Scientists there invented a way to accelerate the growth of coral, which nobody thought was possible. I mean, it's crazy science. And what scouting does is we know how to make things big. You know, a lot of people can do little program events or weekend activity. We know how to get 50,000 people all here having fun together, do it safely, and do it in a way that really makes a difference. So we're doing that with coral restoration, and we've taken that idea and we're going to expand it. We're going to be transplanting tens of thousands of coral with the help of Scout volunteers, and we're hoping to expand that project around the world. But that's the kind of thing that we're doing. There's a lot of other initiatives that are happening in scouting organizations around the world, and I know Canada's doing some really cool things with sustainability.
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, I think as we kind of look at some of the big opportunities challenges facing our planet, you know, you think about over 1 million seabirds and animals that are kind of killed due to plastics and entanglement every year. Real opportunity for scouts to get out and do cleanups. We certainly do those in Canada, but I think there's a global opportunity here for a movement as big as ours with over 53 million scouts to really get out there and help us, you know, keep our oceans clean. So the cleanup part's important, but also opportunities as we're making choices to really, you know, keep down those single-use plastics and, you know, make our planet safer.
So now, how can scouts at home help with these kind of initiatives?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, first thing is get connected locally. You know, there's something that's important for wherever you live. I saw 2 or 3 scouting organizations were putting together little bundles of sticks. You might have wondered what those were. That's beekeeping. And they're teaching everyone how to create a hive, because the eradication of bee species around the world has been a terrible problem. That might be the most important thing. Could be clean water, it could be reforestation. But the first thing is get active locally, and there's always a way. If you get to be a leader locally, we'll find a place for you in an international project.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many of those micro projects that our scouts can do in their home communities, whether it's, like Mike said, helping pollinators, which is a huge problem, or whether it's, doing those local cleanups. But I think one of the big pieces that people can do is really those choices they make every day, choosing not to use a straw. It was great the other day. I was looking at a number of the restaurants, even around the Jamboree site, where the signs up, not using straws, because there's no need for that, and there's lots of options. We've got great water bottles. Those choices will make all the difference for our planet.
How many of you guys use straws? Just say no to straws. Everybody needs to say no to straws.
Now, is this the first time that Scouts Canada and Boy Scouts of America has taken on these sort of environmental projects before?
I think we've always done. In 1973 or 74, we started in the BSA a project that was tied into Earth Day, and environmental sustainability has always been part of our program. But as things have evolved and we've learned more about the planet and its needs, I think our projects have become much more focused. Scouts Canada has always done things for the environment. This is probably a new era. What you see around here with all of these countries, probably now that technology makes it a little easier, where we can actually join in projects and do things together in a more coordinated way.
Oh, I agree. I mean, we've been doing Trees for Canada, which is our kind of reforestation project for decades. I think now it's to take it to that next level of really engaging our communities and our scouts across the planet to really make a difference.
Great. Thank you so much both for joining us today and for your organizations taking on these really important issues.
Well, Michelle, you've been a great host, but I got to say, hey, everybody stop watching TV immediately and go out and have fun. Go do something weird.
So the Scout Law is about respecting others and being a good friend. It is something that we as Scouts try to live up to every day, but everyone has their own interpretation. Earlier this week, we met with Valentina Rodriguez from Uruguay, who generously shared her thoughts on it.
What does the Scout law mean to me? It's kind of hard to say what it actually means. I can't put it into words. It's actually like a really strong feeling about like scouting, like being a better person, like doing things better for our world and yourself and the other people. So it's not only like doing what it says, but like feeling it, like actually having in mind what you are trying to accomplish. So it really means like the way I feel like safe to do a better world. I think the connection between like the Scout Law and the Jamboree is like one of the phrases is like treating people well. It's full of people and full of friends you can make, and also the Jamboree. So like you have to treat people good and make friends with them, and like bond with the scouting. Like the Jamboree has developed a strong like environmental and sustainable things. And I think like we have to set our mind on that and actually like try to pay attention to it and do it, accomplish it.
If you didn't already know, today is Worldwide Scout Scarf Day, and that means that all scouts around the world will wear their scarf today, no matter where they are, at work, at home, or even just out and about. Being at Jamboree makes this easy for us. However, Scouts is taking it to this. However, some Scouts is taking it a step further and go all out with the scarves. This is amazing to see. This scout must have really done some swapping to get this many neckerchiefs. Last night was also supposed to host a base camp bash in both C and D. However, Mother Nature had different plans for us. Instead, we were threatened by scary but brilliant light shows and storms. Throughout this, scouts couldn't dance under the stars. They were still having a great time, listening to music, playing games and chattering all night long inside. Tonight's show is the last time you get to It's the last show you get to get your pictures featured here at New World Live. Do the hashtag Scout Jamboree and show us what you're up to, how you're celebrating Scout Scarf Day, the activities you've done, and how life is in your sub camp. Let us know. Before we leave you to your daily activities, let's join our own Jamboree meteorologist again, Kyle Kibble, for the latest on the weather in West Virginia.
Hey there, did you take a look at this scene coming from yesterday? What a beautiful rainbow stretching across the Summit Bechtel Reserve. Hopefully many of you saw these images at the Summit Reserve yesterday, but hopefully those conditions will be somewhat nicer today compared to the past couple days. We do have a 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms rolling through the Summit Bechtel Reserve as temperatures around 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees Celsius. Tracking out those showers for your Thursday, you'll notice the cold front well past our area, but a couple sporadic showers starting to develop before the lunchtime hour here in southern West Virginia. As we go through the afternoon, these showers will grow more toward our northeast. They'll grow in complexity, they'll grow in size, and they'll grow in numbers. From around the 5, 6, and 7 o'clock hour, some of those showers may turn into thunderstorms with 1 or 2 rolling through the Summit Bechtel Reserve. And about after the 9 o'clock hour, just some lingering cloud cover as we head into the rest of the night. Earlier, I asked you that what is climate? We know weather is the state of the atmosphere at a single place and time, but what is climate? Is it A, all the weather conditions ever, B, an average of weather over a period of time, or C, a long-range forecast? Well, the answer is B, an average of weather over a period of time, whereas weather gives us the state of the atmosphere day to day in short periods. Climate gives us an average of weather over an extended period of time. For instance, 2 weeks, 1 month, maybe a couple months, maybe a season. So it gives us a guideline, not a forecast, but a guideline in how to make our weather decisions. We'll be back tomorrow morning with one of our last broadcasts here on New World Live. Enjoy your day here at the Summit Bechtel Reserve.
Thanks, Kyle, but I'm not sure if we'll see you tomorrow morning. I think we're going to be both on a plane home. I see you're enjoying the Jamboree so much that you forgot today is the last day. That's everything we have for you this morning. Make sure to tune in again tonight at 6:30 p.m., a half an hour earlier than usual for New World Live with special coverage of the spectacular closing show for the 2019 World Scout Jamboree.
Stay safe today and remember to hydrate. This was the last morning show from this Jamboree. Now Michelle and I is preparing ourselves for the closing show and hope to see you there. Vi ses derude.
Goodbye.